Welcome to Anything You Want, the channel dedicated to thorough storytelling and considerate coverage of the moments that shape public imagination. If you value reporting that privileges nuance over sensationalism, please subscribe, click the like button, and consider supporting our independent work by selecting Join, which helps us fund sourcing, verification, and follow-up reporting. Today we offer a comprehensive account of an exchange that briefly escaped the bounds of the set and traveled quickly across social platforms, prompting questions about professional solidarity, the responsibilities of fandom, and the ways small acts of loyalty are transformed into public narratives. Sources present at the interaction insist that the moment between Yağmur Yüksel and Barış Baktaş was uncontrived. Rather than a staged beat intended for cameras, the remark emerged in a low-key context of personal concern and practical support. In English-language summaries, the line has been rendered as "I won't give up on you," and observers who were there emphasize how the cadence and quiet emphasis made the sentence feel more like a private pledge than an element of publicity. That distinction, between theatricality and sincerity, is central to why audiences responded with such intensity. When a viewer captured and shared the interaction, the fragment quickly circulated across platforms, edited into montages, subtitled for international audiences, and amplified by fan networks. The hashtag #YağmurBarışBaktaş rose prominently in trending lists, drawing attention from followers in Turkey and established fandom communities abroad in Spain, Latin America, and parts of Eastern Europe where Turkish serials command devoted audiences. Remarkably, many of the responses centered on protection and empathy. Fans urged restraint in speculation, asked others to respect the actor's privacy, and celebrated the display of mutual care rather than weaponizing it as gossip fodder. Neither actor's representative issued an immediate clarification, and that restraint was read by analysts as a deliberate communications choice. In high-profile contexts, haste can fossilize a narrative before principals have had the chance to reflect. Conversely, measured silence preserves flexibility and allows the situation to mature without being reduced to a press release. Industry experts explain that such choices often reflect legal, contractual, or reputational considerations and are sometimes intended to afford the performers the space to determine how they wish to frame the moment, if at all. The overwhelmingly protective tone among many fans points to an ethic of care becoming more common in online communities. Instead of reflexive entitlement, large swaths of social commentary encouraged boundaries and respect. Messages asked fellow viewers to avoid invasive speculation, to honor the performer's autonomy, and to value the artists first for their craft rather than as objects of consumption. This trend suggests that audiences are capable of witnessing authentic moments and responding with communal guardianship rather than parasitic curiosity. Media outlets quickly offered competing narratives. Tabloid coverage tended toward the romantic reading, presenting the exchange as evidence of an off-screen relationship or as the rekindling of a private sentiment. More sober cultural commentary preferred alternate hypotheses, positing that the assurance might signify professional solidarity, a friendship forged under the intensity of creative collaboration, or a momentary expression of care triggered by the pressures of performance. At present, each interpretation remains plausible and each would have different consequences for how the story continues. The international ripple effect of the clip underlines the transnational influence of Turkish dramas, which have become cultural exports across Europe, Latin America, and the Middle East. These productions often emphasize moral dilemmas, loyalty, and emotional endurance, and when intimate moments surface they are refracted through many cultural lenses. International fans do not simply translate the language, they interpret the gesture within their own norms of affection and fandom, enriching the conversation and making the clip part of a broader global exchange about what sincerity looks like today. A moment that captivates public attention is bound to have professional repercussions. Productions and streaming services monitor organic engagement closely, and visible chemistry between performers can trigger offers for future collaborations, joint promotions, and commercial deals. While such attention can broaden opportunities and even fund creative ambitions, it can also impose unwanted expectations, intensify press scrutiny, and pressure the actors to present a particular facade that aligns with audience fantasies rather than their personal boundaries. It is important to recognize that what spreads online is often shaped by the choices of amateur editors and fan communities. Those creative laborers decide on soundtrack, clip length, subtitles, and the emotional arc of a montage, turning a private exchange into a piece of shared culture. This curatorial process emphasizes certain effects and downplays others, thereby playing a constitutive role in how audiences understand and feel about the moment. Understanding this process clarifies how private tenderness becomes public story. This event can serve as a prompt for a larger ethical conversation. Curiosity about public figures is legitimate, but it must be balanced with a recognition of their dignity and right to private life. Responsible fandom celebrates artistry while resisting the temptation to convert every human gesture into content. When audiences respond with restraint and empathy, they help create a sustainable cultural environment in which performers can practice their craft without constant intrusion. As the days unfold, several scenarios remain realistic. The actors might release a clarifying statement either jointly or separately. Production teams could announce a future collaboration that frames the intimacy as the product of creative partnership, or both professionals could maintain silence, preserving the moment's ambiguity and its emotional potency. Each route carries implications for how fans, the press, and industry stakeholders will interpret the exchange and shape subsequent opportunities. Understanding Yağmur Yüksel's and Barış Baktaş's careers helps explain the public interest. Yağmur has built a reputation for performances that rely on nuance, expressive restraint, and a capacity to convey depth without overt theatricality. Barış has demonstrated a willingness to take on emotionally demanding roles that require sustained commitment and psychological insight. Their respective reputations as serious performers mean that when a private assurance surfaces, audiences are predisposed to take it seriously because it aligns with the credibility each has accrued on screen. Whether the phrase, "I won't give up on you," is read as a pledge of steadfast friendship or as the opening gesture of a more intimate relationship, it has functioned as an expression of human solidarity that reverberated widely. The clip highlighted something essential. Even in a commercialized media environment, modest acts of care retain the power to console, inspire, and connect audiences to the people who inhabit the stories they love. If you value careful, humane coverage that resists sensationalism and seeks verified detail, please subscribe to Anything You Want, like this piece, and click Join to support ongoing reporting. Your membership enables us to pursue interviews, verify claims, and bring responsible follow-ups to this and other stories. We will continue to follow developments and report on any confirmed updates. Thank you for reading and participating in a conversation that seeks balance between curiosity and respect. Tell us, are you rooting for friendship, hoping for romance, or advocating for privacy? Which public figures should Anything You Want feature next? Vote in the comments, subscribe for more, and click Join to help sustain independent stories. Until our next report, Stay curious and treat others with kindness.